See how it works. So far, so good. Ain't dropping frames. That all looks good to me so far. There we are. We're live. Hey, look at there. Even the notifications work. Cool beans. I'm going to have to, next time we do this, I'm going to change monitors around and use my second monitor for the stream, for monitoring the stream on YouTube. Makes the writing too little. My old eyes. Welcome to the channel, though. KI5 PFB. KI5 PFB. V. Victor. Glad to meet you. KM5L will be along in just a little bit, Patrick, and we'll do some sound checks and get ready for the net. I think I'm all plugged in right. About a gazillion settings between the sound settings to feed the radio into the show and everything. It is interesting to get set up. Yeah, I got audio again. Yeah, I just got back from Tyler not long ago. When we drove up there, my wife had a doctor's appointment, specialist appointment. We went to the wrong place, went to the hospital instead of the facility they've got on the north side of Tyler, 15 miles away. Of course, we were late, so we had to reschedule. And we turned around and came back home. All in all, it wasn't a bad afternoon. I would rather do that than drive to Dallas any day of the week. Let me just get a hold of Patrick here. See if I can find him. All right, let's see. Stream. Is. All right. Give him a heads up. Maybe he'll join us here in a second. And we can see if everything's working right. There's going to be a little bit of a lag, but I think I've got it set to ultra low, so that should be. Oh yeah, 3-second lag. Not too bad. I'll take that any day of the week. KM5L N50RO. Go ahead, Patrick. Good evening.
RC, you're breaking up pretty bad into the repeater.
Okay, that probably cured it.
Yeah, it did.
Rotten antenna switches.
Borrow my grinder if you want. Why are you grinning like that? Perpetual. I guess I'd rather see you happy than sad. K5CCL repeater.
I'm happy that everything's working. Radio looks like it's feeding through to the channel all right, and I can hear and talk, so everything's coming up roses. Love it when a plan comes together.
Count to four, RC.
4, 3, 2, 1. I counted and I had about a 3-second lag a minute ago.
Okay, that was 10 seconds. I'm reloading. You can do it again, starting right now.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Partridge in a pear tree.
I think that was really about 6 seconds. So you're at 6 seconds. Gary, how was your day?
Doing well, thanks. Trying to get over a little bit of a reflare of a perhaps shingles.
Oh no.
Don't want those, by the way.
Oh my goodness, no. Well, I'm glad you're getting over it. Hey, I'll be right back. I gotta flip my pork chops. Cam 5L.
That sounds serious. I want mine well done.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna mess with that one. Let him flip his pork chops.
I don't know. We've been trying to get him to do that for a while, so let him go.
Yeah, roger that. I think I flipped mine a long time ago. It's in my rearview mirror.
TMI on that.
And KA9YNX trying to get set up.
Roger that. There's plenty of time. That's the reason I started the stream a little early to get everybody time to get in, settle in, and all that.
And 5SER.
Evening, Charles.
Well, I can see you, but I don't think I can talk to you on the on the computer, can I?
No, as a matter of fact, you can't, but you can talk to me on the radio. That's our talk back thing is going to be um, yeah, the repeaters tonight.
Well, I'm watching you. You know, I see you're making the victory sign.
ARC, it looks like we've got about a 2 to 3 second lag.
Okay, that's about what I'm getting here. All in all, that's pretty good. You always got some lag, and it's been it's been way worse before. I've had so long I can't remember what I was saying when I see my mouth moving.
Like a politician.
Yeah, roger that.
Biden in particular.
All right, let's see. Anybody recognize this background?
ZKU. Cedar Hill, Texas.
Well, hello, Steve. Welcome aboard tonight.
Glad to be here. You got the screen filled now.
Yeah, it's we're gonna try something new, even if it don't work.
Yeah, you're kind of our poster boy for the program. You're going to look real good down there at the college tonight. K5WWN.
Evening, Tom. N50RO. I probably ought to say that.
Good evening. I'm hitting you twice saying everything.
Yeah, I tell you what, if it were me, what I'd do is mute the YouTube stream because it's going to have a little bit of a lag, and everything I do, most everything, I'll have the key down anyway on the radio.
ARC, can you mute the stream when you mute the audio on the stream from your end?
Uh, well, yeah, but I can't. I don't. I can't mute it and get the radio on the stream at the same time. I can. Yeah, I can mute it. I can mute it on my end.
No big deal. I just wondered if that would take care of the problem of people being confused.
It might. My hopes is we have some guys that don't have their license yet check in on YouTube tonight, and they can kind of participate that way, uh, and encourage them maybe to go get their ticket.
Yeah, roger that. Do you have a way of, through YouTube, on the live stream, I guess you're hearing me on both, is that right?
Now I hear you on the radio, but I've got I've got my speakers. My speakers are killed, so you're coming through the headset, but not anywhere else.
Yeah, roger that. Looks pretty good. You've got a little bit of, at least on my side, you look like you've been wearing some of Trump's goggles when he went to the sun booth, kind of big around your eyes, a little white, but anyway, other than that, you're looking great. K5CCL repeater.
Yeah, I didn't mess with the chroma key settings any tonight to kind of get that shine off my head. But I pay $3 for that at the bowling alley once a week. Let's see. That might help just a little bit.
Yeah, that flattened it out a bit.
ARC.
Yes, sir.
I clicked on the thumbs up, so I noticed Philip Curran is in here along with Jason, and so I thought, okay, I'll leave you a message. Well, you got to sign in, and I don't have a sign in, and it did something, and then when I clicked back, I'm seeing a different background. It says Cedar Hill Towers at night, amateur TV part one. it's a completely different view than what I had a minute ago.
Yeah, I changed backgrounds, changed scenes.
Cam 5L, hey RC.
Yes, sir.
I think we have a problem. Um, I think there's a ghost in your house right behind you.
I don't know. I couldn't catch him. Oh, I see. Yeah, I either get a shiny head or a little bit of graininess in my chroma key. I don't know. Let's see if I can fix that.
Can it get out the airbrush?
Yeah, yeah. If I put on makeup, that might be the last straw.
We won't tell.
See if we can find a happy medium here on these light panels. If I was a big time YouTuber, I could afford some of those full color adjustable light panels instead of the three color three color kind.
Oh boy, I've got you at 720 resolution now. I'm really seeing the supernova on top of your head.
I'll bet you are. Yeah, I said just a minute ago I've got to go by the bowling alley and spend $3 a week to keep that shine going.
Is that what they charge to shine up your ball?
Oh, I don't know. I think you buy 9, you get the 10th one free or something like that.
Charles, thanks for reminding me. I don't think I've heard that one since my seventh grade year.
At A&M.
Ha ha. Thank you, Gary. I can always depend on Gary.
Because we love you just like your dog.
Got too many Aggie buddies to crack too many Aggie jokes.
I spent the whole morning with the Aggies this morning. I've had enough of it.
Oh my
Yeah, it's
goodness.
kind of hard to keep jamming all that, really smart material into your brain when it's full already, Gary.
Yeah, both cells are taken.
Puts a lot in each one.
RC, I'm glad you're wearing your camo shirt, just so you can kind of hide from everybody.
Yeah, me too. I can blend in, move over just a little bit where the tree line is on that river and blend in with the background. This is as close as I get to a ghillie suit.
Want to borrow mine?
My son, the one that was in the Marine Corps, he um, he had his all fixed up one Halloween and hid over by the bushes in front of the shrubs in front of their house. And there was one kid that had scared the kids and it would work, but there was one kid that actually dropped his candy thing and took off down the street and around the corner screaming. I never did see him again.
Remind me Thursday to tell you my Halloween story.
I will. I will. You remind me to tell my. I don't even remember what story I was going to tell now. Oh man. Hmm. Well, I think it's just a countdown now. I've got all my stuff laid out over here, my show and tell things, and I finally got my head wrapped around all this tech stuff that I've been reading the last couple of weeks. Uh, I'm gonna do a slide deal, a slide presentation, and then just talk about each slide, and that'll be just about the right amount of slides and time, and give us time for the question Q&A session.
Should be able to slide right through it.
And slip on it on the way.
Roger that. Slip and slide. They said they've got 20 enrolled that are there going to be there tonight at the college.
Should we tell a story about David? I mean, he asked for it.
Oh, they're not going to hang around. They're going to check in and gonna greet the guys that are in the class or the people that are in the class. I shouldn't make any assumptions. And then they're going to check back out and continue on with their class.
I know there are some ladies signed up for that class.
K5CCL repeater.
Really? What are their ages?
The one I know of is married, N50RO.
Now, the one I know about is my age and divorced and not looking to reconnect.
Well, that's too old anyway.
Thank you, Patrick.
Gary told me to. Devil with you, Gary. Charles Gary told me to.
Yeah, right.
Well, 5 minutes till repeater ID. Would Patrick? Would you bring up the link?
I would. Hey, Charles, I don't have my correct radio attached to this. Can you do it?
Stand by. N5SCR bringing up the link.
5-2 on. Remote base on. The PGP security file is being updated. Please try again later.
You know, I wonder, does this 9700 have a soft screen DTMF encoder? Anybody know that answer?
I don't. It may, but I know this 991A doesn't. Well, about 3.5 minutes till TechNet.
Well, good. I can tell you guys I'm on cloud nine. I'm about done with my taxes. How about that?
Well, that's good news. You can see light at the end of the tunnel.
For what year?
I pretty much always go till almost October. You know, they say death and taxes, right? They're kind of the same thing. Hey, RC, are you gonna do like a dance for us?
I guess I could. I can move that green screen back a little bit. Put some kind of a film up on there, silent film of some guys dancing and do an Irish jig.
Heck, I thought we were going fishing.
That water's awful calm.
A little too much lightning to be out on the creek.
Hey, RC, raise your finger up, and everybody else say something when you see it.
Got it.
Same for me here, Charles. About 8 to 9 seconds. Gary, what about you?
Well, I said something when I saw it.
All right, KM5L clear for net.
Yeah, he saw it about the same time I did. I got about a 2-second lag.
KA51.
Good evening, Tex.
Yeah, good evening. I got here a little late. What am I supposed to do?
Well, if you look at I sent out an email and the links didn't work in it, I don't guess. So I sent out another email with just the links at the top of it. So if you click on one of them, it'll take you to the live stream, or you can just search CCARC TechNet. It'll bring it up.
Worked for me, KI5MEM.
Yeah, okay, I brought it up. I see you looking around there.
Yes, sir. I'm looking for my notepad here. The one thing I didn't think about. All right. It's about that time. Good evening. This is N50RO. My name's RC. I'm in Henderson County, and we're opening the monthly edition of TechNet on the K5CCL 146.900 and the K5EPH 147.22 repeaters, and on YouTube live stream tonight. First ever, up live and in your face. The purposes of TechNet are learning more about the technical part of amateur radio, which we're going to do tonight, or try to, and furthering the collaboration and camaraderie between the Cedar Creek Lake area hams. amateurs licensed to operate on this frequency are invited to check in and participate. If you're unlicensed, you can watch and follow along on YouTube. This is a directed net, so please do not transmit unless directed by net control. If you have an emergency, simply transmit with the pronouns break break, and you'll be recognized. Do we have any emergency or priority traffic at this time? Okay, hearing none, I'll find a pencil and start taking check-ins. I've got so much stuff around here, I can't. All right, we'll start taking check-ins. Come now with your call sign slowly and phonetically, because that's the only way I can listen.
N0UXR, November 0, Uniform X-Ray, Romeo.
Kilo India 5, Mike India Romeo, Don.
Kilo Alpha 5 Yankee. Patrick. Kilo India 5 Zulu, Kilo Uniform.
Kilo Mike 5 Lima.
November 5, Sierra Echo Romeo.
November 5 Golf Delta Oscar Double Patrick.
Kilo Alpha 9 Yankee November X-Ray.
Kilo Golf 5 Tango Bravo Yankee. Alpha Delta 5 Delta Romeo Greg.
All right, we'll take a break. The net recognizes everybody that just checked in. My lead broke. You know, it seems like you've got all your ducks in a row, and then one of those ducks has got to take a walk on his own. So we'll get along tonight best we can anyhow. Um, Check-in question for tonight is, how much do you know about amateur TV? That is, how much you say not very much or a whole lot or just whatever. It's just a subjective type question, I suppose. And we'll start with David. N0 UXR.
Hey, thanks, RC. I'll answer your question really quick. I know very little about amateur television. I got to see a slow scan TV signal at one time, but I think it has evolved into something much greater than that now. So I know this is going to be informative to the TechNet. So that's what I know, but I would like for you at Net Control to say hello. We got 20 folks here that are studying for their technician license or actually higher, and we are excited that they're here, so they're listening in on the net. So if you could just shout a big hello to them.
Well, hello to all 20 of y'all. And as a technician class amateur radio operator, you'll have not only digital privileges, voice privileges on 2 meters and 440 and on up, but you'll also have amateur television privileges, and those are all included with the price of admission. If you've got a technician class license. So we're happy to have y'all and look forward to seeing you sometime along the way during the classes there at TVECC. So 73.
Thank you, RC. We're going to let you get back to the normal net control, net operations, but 73 to all the folks on the net today, and thanks for giving a great demonstration to our class tonight, and they're looking forward to all of y'all's presentations. So 73, N0 UXR clear.
Roger that. You are checked out. This is going to be in no particular order. It's going to be as my memory directs me, I guess. Let's do this. This will be a lot easier. Anybody that would like to make a comment about having a knowledge of amateur TV, amateur radio TV, then just come now and step right up and give a word of testimony, if you will.
KM5L.
KM5L, go ahead, Patrick.
Well, before David leaves, maybe he's already gone, but high level. As far as I know, there are three main types. One is the old slow scan TV, where you can, basically run very, very slow screen type of captures on shortwave radio. And then there's more recently a traditional full regular AM or AM broadcast, AM radio, TV, and what is that, NTSC standard, just like any other television station before digital came along. And then the other one I wanted to just point out to everybody is video on RDN, Amateur Radio Emergency Network, and that's our own private internet. So different forms of it. RC Cam 5L, back to that.
Good deal. And yeah, that's all. And now the guys are starting to develop into digital TV, which is 4K, can be up to 4K real time television. And those things, from what I understand, the clubs that have offered that to the emergency responders, first responders in their areas, have been covered up with being in demand. So it's interesting. It's something interesting to explore. Anyone else? Okay, we'll take some announcements and we'll do the buy, sell, and trade thing. Do we have any announcements at this time? I know we do.
N5SVR.
Go ahead, Charles.
Henderson County Aries will conduct its monthly training. It's not going to be on the air net. We're going to be down at the Tool Fire Station. They're south on 274 out of 7 Points, upstairs, doing a hands-on wind link, both HF and VHF. Bob Dawson and I will be handling the radios, and well, we're going to demonstrate, and you're going to, the participants are going to handle the radios, and we're going to answer any questions they have about setting up and as best we can configuring their sound cards. So, Aries members, we'll see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at Tool Fire Station. Okay.
And this is N50RO with the Monday night monthly TechNet on K5CCL and K5EPH repeaters in progress. Okay, I was going to announce the monthly meeting, but the monthly meeting took place last week. I didn't update that note, apparently. The Rag Chew Irregulars, everyday irregulars, meet on 3.873 megahertz every morning, Monday through Saturday at or around 8 o'clock local time. Usually there's folks, we're talking before 8 o'clock and done by 8:30. So if you want to start your morning with the knowledge of solving all the world's problems and take that out in the morning. You get a laugh out of some of the stuff that goes on at the very least. Start your morning with a laugh. Then join us on 3873. That's a 75 meter portion of the 80 meter band. And do we have anybody that has anything to buy, sell, or trade?
KA51.
Go ahead, Tex.
Yeah, I have a Ham 3 rotor. I think it's Ham 3. It looks, I can't tell the difference between a Ham 3 and a Ham 4, but I think that's what it is. With a controller, and the rotor itself has been rebuilt. It's looks like a new one. And anybody interested in that, give me a call. Looking at $275. Back to net.
Roger that. Anybody else have anything to buy, sell, or trade? If you need an antenna rotator, then contact Tex. He's good on the roster.
N5SER.
N5SCR. Go ahead, Charles.
Have two Cushman monitors. I think it's a 3 and a 4 with some spare inserts and a factory manual. 150 bucks for the whole thing.
That'd be a good deal for somebody just getting into general license. That'd be a good place to start. Um, Anyone else? Anything to buy, sell, or trade for this evening?
Cam 5L real quick.
Go ahead, Patrick.
I think the audio feed into the YouTube is about half of what it needs to be, RC, if you can tweak it up a bit.
Four, five, three, two, eight.
That ought to be a little bit better. It looked low to me, but I wasn't sure how it would sound on the other end, so it's kind of hard to tell. Thanks for the feedback. Appreciate it. Can't know unless somebody says something. Um, Anything else? Anybody else? Buy, sell, or trade before we close the swap net part of the meeting. Okay, does anybody have a topic that they'd like to discuss tonight or information that might be useful to others before we get started with the feature at hand?
Cam 5L.
KM5L, go ahead, Patrick.
Of course, we can't broadcast to non-ham radio operators, but we can tell ham radio operators that don't have 2 meters operational, if they happen to be listening, that we do have the simulcast on YouTube, and we have the link for that simulcast on the going out to the roster of the Cedar Creek Amateur Radio Club. And all they got to do is Google Cedar Creek Amateur Radio Club, and they'll get all the information they need on on how to join us at the meeting there, RC. Cam 5L, back to net.
Very good. That's worthwhile information. Well, tonight, as we've very much celebrated, we'll talk a little bit about amateur TV. I thought this would make a good tech net about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and so I started reading about it, and I started watching some videos, and the more I watched and the more I read, the more I thought it was just cool beans. And I kind of got bit by the bug, and have got a little station set up, and I'd be happy to I'd be happy to pass along what I've learned, and get a couple of more people that might be interested involved, and we'll see how it goes from there. But first, I thought we would talk about what ham TV is not in the modern day sense. It's not slow scan. It's evolved very far past that. And back in the day, in the what late '80s and early '90s, when I guess it was at its heyday here in the area, there was people that would broadcast, and basically it was a still picture, pretty much, of their QSL card or something like that, and that was what you got, and that just never did it for me. I there was a guy in Cedar Hill, and I tuned into channel 2 or whatever it was, analog, and got his still picture a couple of times, and that was about it. But as I began to see what amateur radio or amateur TV is now, I really got interested, and it's real time video. It is just like an analog TV broadcast, and most of the people that are doing amateur radio across the country still are using AM analog transmitters. Hams especially are hard to change, hard uh, to sway onto something different, even though it's new. If they've got things that work and it's less expensive, you can buy an analog transmitter and a down converter and stuff, and still have enough money left over for a nice radio. So it's not an expensive thing to get into. It's 30 frames per second, or I guess faster, 4K HD live feed video and audio, and or up to that. Uh, that is pushing the envelope. The signal is
Okay.
the signal is 6 megahertz wide on the analog stuff, but in some of the digital, they've gotten it down to 2 megahertz bandwidth, and some guys are experimenting with 1, but 1 limits you so much it's back basically just to a still picture, from what I understand. But they 6 megahertz wide is a standard signal width. So on the 70 centimeter band, which is really where it starts to pick up because we got more bandwidth, it takes up six. There's basically 5 channels, and those, I'll show you a slide of those in just a minute. Basically 5 channels, and those 5 channels take up the whole bottom half of 70 centimeters. You know, 6 times 5 is 30 megahertz. That's a lot. When you stop and put it in perspective and consider that's the HF band, it's a lot of air width, or a lot of bandwidth. I thought what I'd do tonight is do kind of a show and tell, something a little different since we got video to go along with our audio. And let me see if I can make the, oh, looky there, it's going to work. All right. This is kind of a TV timeline. It's been around, TV experiments have been around since like 1925. A long time, well, almost 100 years now. Just a couple of years shy of it. And amateurs have always been on the cutting edge of technology. That's one of the reasons they kept us around. And another reason they keep us around is nowadays is especially emergency communications, EMCOM. That's what pays the bills for amateur radio operators. So there's the history. In 2009, the USA switches completely from analog TV to digital TV, but the newer TVs were still required to have an analog tuner. So you've got an option, digital or analog. Sometimes you got to kind of hunt through the settings to get the analog signal. But tonight, after the net, I'm going to transmit for a while, and it'll be broadcast at about 40 watts on cable channel 58, analog cable channel 58. So if you had I'll show you a picture of one. As a matter of fact, I'll show you a real one. If you have a down converter, you could use it and down convert 70 centimeters to channel 2 or channel 3 or channel 4. That's what the knob's for. It's kind of a tuning knob that tunes in, and some of the channels are really narrow tuning. But channel 58 will get the picture. Analog, cable channel 58. Just make a note of that. So if you can do that on your TV and you have an external antenna and not, it's closed, if it's a closed cable circuit, probably won't work. And the other end of that, you got something to watch and something to hear, but you got to have something to send too, a transmitter. And the transmitters are really small. They're not as big as you would think. Little small transmitter. I think this one is a 2-watt transmitter, and that doesn't sound like much, but you supposedly can get about 5 miles a watt under good conditions, and yada yada yada. Ideal, flat ground. all the things are smiling on you. They do have an N-type connector on them, but you can of course you can get a feed line with an N connector on it, or you can use an adapter. The adapter's N connector to SO239, and use your standard coax connector. And a small power supply. It doesn't take much. They don't draw much current, less than 1.5 amps. So a small, what I wound up with for that set that I bought, just kind of a little station, and it was just an old realistic Radio Shack power supply, like everybody that had a mobile CB in their house used for their base station.
Cam 5L, RC got a question.
Go right ahead.
Okay, I put this in the chat for a down converter, or it's about to go in the chat. I think it was just delaying. Is this something that would work with what you're talking about? There's like these down converter down converters available, aka RF modulator. Maybe take a look at eBay if you've got a minute and kind of coach us a little bit.
Okay. Yes. Demodulator. RF demodulator is basically all it is. It changes the 70 centimeter signal, down converts it to what would that be? 50 some odd megahertz for channel 2, channel 3, that low band part of the television spectrum, and you just kind of fine tune it in. Or, you know, if you have even a 70 centimeter antenna, you can route it to your television and turn it to analog cable channel TV. I use it, of course I'm in close proximity, but I just use a set of rabbit ears. But it'll pick it up on just as well without a down converter on cable channel 58 analog as it will with a down converter. So that's an option. And most of the transmitters are fixed frequency, or they'll have a couple of settings. They'll come with one frequency, and you can get a crystal for the other frequency. They're crystal controlled. And answer Ed's question, I can see some of the chat. Yes, you can use a normal TV, just set to an analog cable channel 58. If it's a cable ready TV, then go to channel 58. It's got to be analog, and it'll pick up the signal. And I'm kind of curious, honestly, to see just how far this thing will transmit and how far. We're going to go in and look at some signal reporting criteria too here in a minute, but just how far it'll reach out. This is all kind of virgin territory for me anyway.
Okay.
This is N50RO on the Monday Night TechNet, CCARC, and Athens Amateur Radio Club repeaters, K5CCL and K5EPH. And TechNet is in full swing, in progress.
Where on YouTube do I find the picture?
John, if you look in your email, and there's I sent an email out about 5 o'clock this evening, and it's got a link in it. The second email has got a link that works. Up at the very top, you can just click on that email link, the YouTube link, and it'll take you right to the broadcast. Or you can search CCARC for Cedar Creek Amateur Radio Club TechNet, and it should pull it up. You'll see pictures and my smiling face.
NHB?
Go ahead, Don.
Yeah, I used the latter that you just said, and your picture came right up on my big screen, and kind of scary, really. It's something new, and I'm enjoying it. Thank you.
Amen, KM5L.
Yeah, I don't even have to wear a mask at Halloween. I just scare the kids. So here on this slide, this is what you need to get started. You need my mouse isn't going to transfer to that, but you'll need on the far left there, that's the down converter, and it's just an on-off switch. It's got an input for 50 ohm, like 70 centimeter antenna, and an output 75 ohm, goes to your TV. That's all there is to it. It's pretty simple. And next to that, the larger rectangle with the buttons and knobs is the transmitter. And the one that's pictured here has got 5 channels. It's a 5 channel. It's selected with the knob in the middle. Kind of hard to tell. The resolution's not just great on that, but you need that. You need some sort of video feed, and I've got the bugs worked out of using a computer to download it to convert it to an analog signal and then feed it into the analog transmitter. That I had to scratch my head for a while on that, but we got it going. Got it with video and voice, so that's coming up aces. And you'll need a power supply. And of course, some kind of a monitor system, a television, or you could use a monitor, I guess, with a down converter, and use it that way. But also the radio that's there, the 2 meter that I got my head right in front of, the 2 meter radio is just strictly for talkback communications. 144.34 is the national calling frequency for amateur television. I have been told, I've read. If you choose to use a camera, video camera, listen, for an analog video camera, they're cheap. I mean, Walmart's got one right now for like $17, a little camcorder, and they're easy to come by. Especially Amazon's got them. You can get a real nice one for south of $100, around 50ish. Buy you a pretty nice one. The down converter and the transmitter, they're still making the transmitter that's pictured here, I think, but they're also available at flea markets. People, buy them, get interested. They collect dust, and they decide to get rid of them, and you can find them on eBay. It's where I found mine, and any kind of ham radio swap site would likely have one if it was available. If you got all that stuff, you need an antenna. You got to have an antenna to be able to broadcast and receive. And there's a couple of directional antennas, actually 3 directional antennas. You can use like a parabolic antenna, or just a standard 70 centimeter Yagi beam, or a circular. You can get fancy with them. You don't have to. I suggest that we use vertical polarization, because everybody that's got a 2 meter 70 centimeter antenna, like a tram or a diamond or something of that nature, they're all vertically polarized. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel, and it just makes it better all the way around. But there's no set convention, apparently, in amateur television as to whether to use horizontal or vertical. But since vertical is more prevalent, especially in our area, I would suggest that.
KM5L.
KM5L, go.
RC, any basically conventional TV with a down converter would work. I think we've established that. And I wanted to let you know that, like, I found one about a year ago on Goodwill.com. There's probably plenty of those that you can buy. And the one I found on Goodwill was a little portable unit, an old portable unit. Like, the screen is literally only about 2 inches wide by 2 inches tall or so. So they're available out there for this purpose. Kind of interesting. KM5L, back to that.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, there are. And the old technology, 5 years ago, technology-wise, is old, and nobody wants old stuff. Everybody wants the brand new shiny stuff. So the old stuff is older stuff is really inexpensive to pick up. And you look at a ham convention or Hamfest or something like that, and you're likely to find amateur TV equipment somewhere and probably pick it up for a song. And of course, you can go directional or omnidirectional. And omnidirectional antenna would work great, especially, if we wind up putting up, I would be willing to host a repeater if we had a few guys that would get interested in it. And the only thing bad about amateur television is if you don't have anybody watching and transmitting every once in a while, it gets kind of old, stale. So the more the merrier, I would say.
Okay.
You can also, if you're frugal, I like that word better than cheap. Frugal, like I am, you can build an antenna, build a little vertical antenna, and the dimensions are easy to work out. Just use a not a SO239 panel mount with the 4 screw holes in it, and a couple of pieces of wire, and you're back in business. Signal quality. The signal reporting quality is signal reporting on the quality of the broadcast is a little different than it is the RST that we use on the voice communications on phone. It's P0 is just barely can tell something's there, and that's P is just picture, apparently picture 0, picture 1. You can start seeing some shadows and things. And picture 2, you begin to pick up color. You get a color lock, and 3 is a little better, and 4 is almost a perfect picture. And then if I can get my body out of the way, P5 is, I'm going the wrong way. P5 is a good picture, good to go.
RC, you got a couple questions on the chat.
Roger. I can just almost read chat. I'm going to have to make my screen bigger there. Let's see. We have... Yes, you can use a normal TV with no down converter. If you tune to analog cable channel 58, you can do that. Use just plain old TV. And all right, Tom's got an old analog TV. Those, if you can find them anymore, you can probably pick them up for $5, probably, or 10 at a thrift store. The difference between analog and cable would be well, cable is of course 58's the frequency range, but analog it won't say, it'll just say TV. We've got a conglomeration of TVs in my house, and I've looked at them, and all of them have just a little bit different nomenclature, but they'll all say something like DTV when it's digital, like 4 DTV or 4 TV for analog. So I'd say just kind of look for a clue like that, and you might have to scroll through them. I've got one Vizio in here that I've been using in the spare room, and it's it gives you a choice of channel 58s, and you choose the one that doesn't have anything next to it, but it doesn't have D anywhere in it. Next slide. There we are. Those are the frequencies that make up basically the 5 frequencies. You'll notice that the first set of frequencies and the second set of frequencies are the same, but the second set correspond to the SW numbers are dip switches to set it for test signal or normal operation. And 6.25 it won't pick up on it. It doesn't correspond to a television channel. So that one is not one that I would prefer personally. The one that I have is fixed frequency at 427.25, which is, as you can see, is cable 58, cable channel 58. And then it goes on up. 434, 439.25 is channel 60. So you got 58, 59, 60, and there's also a 57, but I don't know exactly where it falls. I couldn't find it on the chart. You pull up frequency allocations for anything TV related, and you get bombarded with information. By the way, I'm going to put all this stuff up on Groups.io. After a while, I'm going to create another category if we don't have one already, called ATV, Amateur TV, and dump a plethora of information in it. I got about, I don't know how many books, e-books, 4 or 5, and those have got a ton of good information in them. There's the portion of the 70 centimeter band that's used by amateur TV. Now down to where the rubber meets the road, amateur TV and Aries. This is from the Boulder, Colorado group, and it's a live feed. Actually, it's a still shot of their live feed from their tower that's on the mountain. They've got a camera at the repeater site, and they caught a picture of, or caught footage of a slurry bomber fighting a forest fire there in 4 Mile Canyon, and that is fed directly to the EOC, directly to the command post, and they had a funny story that they told. The emergency services, they started out about 30 years ago offering them amateur television. And they thought it was great. The fire department thought it was great. The police captain thought it was great. And they said, can we get another camera? Can we get another screenshot? So they got together a team, and they got together the equipment, and they've provided them a second stream. And it wasn't very long till they asked if they could have a third. So they got the equipment together and got the crew together, and they began to notice a trend. So they told them, when they asked for 4, they said, that's all we can do is 4. We've only got 5 channels. So we're going to cap it at 4. But now they service them with 4 different perspectives, 4 different screenshots, and they're really in high demand. From their story is they're in high demand, and I wouldn't believe it.
Okay.
This is N50RO on the 146.900 and 147.22 repeaters, K5CCL and K5EPH respectively. Doing TechNet in progress, almost finished with progress. And then there's the wow factor, the cool stuff and the fun stuff. You know, you got EOC. You can just imagine the applications for ARES and things. But this is a still picture of a live feed from 100,000 feet on a weather balloon. Raspberry Pi Zero is running the show, and their camera, and I don't know what frequency they were transmitting back at. It didn't say, but that's cool. You can see in the live feed the actual, rotation of the Earth a little bit, and so there's a really a wow factor. You can mount them to airplanes. They mount them to model rockets, model airplanes. They mount them to hang gliders. Use them with a helmet cam. They rig up. So there's all kinds of applications to it, and it just looks like a ton of fun to me.
And one more interruption here, Cam5L, RC.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah, just looking through the Goodwill auctions, man, there's a ton of these little portable TVs in there, guys, and they're cheap, really cheap. You probably can win an auction pretty easy. But, for example, it's hard to say what channels they have on there, but, like, I'm looking at one that has UHF frequencies, so from 21 to 69 megahertz. The VHF goes from 2 to 12 megahertz. So do we know what that cross-references to in terms of the channel, where does 58 fall, etc.?
Yes. 58 would be, come on, catch up. There it is. Okay, 58 would be 427.25 megahertz.
Okay, so this TV I'm looking at would not suffice because it only goes up to 69. So anyway, I guess that is without a down converter. So we know that the example I gave would work with the down converter. Cam5L.
That would be affirmative, and I think you can get a down converter kit. They're not. I don't believe they're pricey, especially the analog stuff. It's just not. All right, and that kind of brings us to the end of the slideshow. I hope y'all have enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it, and I had fun preparing for this. I wish we had time for. I wish I could get everything that I've read in my head out in the public venue, but it just doesn't work that way. You gotta spew out what you can remember at the time. Do we have any other topics or questions or comments? Feel free.
KI5MEM.
Hey, Patrick, go ahead.
Yeah, I know a young lady that has a small model rocket. I wonder how big of or how small of a setup you could put into a small model rocket like that and launch it off and get some pictures back. What do you think?
I think that's a real good question. They make transmitters. I'll send a picture, a screenshot of the guy's website that still supplies some of this equipment. and they make one that they scale it with a quarter sitting next to it, and it only weighs a few ounces. It's not heavy at all. Runs on a 9-volt battery, and the 9-volt battery is supposed to drive it all day, according to what they say. So that would be a neat little setup to do. Duct tape that thing to the side of a model rocket and set it off and let her rip. Any other questions or comments or things of that nature?
One other little help thing, KM5LRC, on what Patrick just asked.
Okay, go ahead, Patrick. Talk to Patrick.
To the net, Patrick. In that case, you might think about, again, RDIN as a solution. You could have like an R-Ray, just a plain old low power Raspberry Pi with a very low weight camera attached directly to the Raspberry Pi, and using amateur frequencies on the Wi-Fi. So in that case, I mean, that's a different application, maybe a different way of going about it. Probably for weight purposes, might be worthy to look at. CAM5L back to net.
Yeah, roger that. I guess it all depends on the size of the rocket engine. Well, if we have any other topics, now would be a good time to introduce them. Okay, hearing nothing, it's time for the 73 round, and we'll run through, let everybody say their 73s, and I'll start it off. 73 to everybody that checked in tonight. Without your participation, it wouldn't be a success. And I like this. I think the YouTube adds another dimension to it. So let me know what you think. And 73, y'all. N50RO. Let's see, who started? N5SCR. How about you, Charles?
RC, this was fabulous. You've put so much effort into this. Just thank you so much. I think there's a lot for everybody to learn, and I think we all know who we're going to call when we get ready to answer 73s, everybody. Have a great evening.
All right, since I don't have a strict list of check-ins tonight because my lead broke, David checked out with the class. KM5L.
Great job, RC. I hope we got a lot of interest peak in this, and I guess we better continue this next month for installment number 2. And I just appreciate this, like Charles said, all the work you did there. N50ORO in the group. This is KM5L 73.
All right, N5GDO. Gary, you still around?
Okay. Yeah, RC, still here. Excellent job. Enjoyed the presentation and all the work, like everybody said, that you put into it. It's a neat thing to explore and see how it works out and how it's applied. Some of the Arden possibilities are there as well to get the speeds up and things moving along. So look forward to examining in the future, and excellent. Hope everybody gets involved over at the fire station with Charles tomorrow evening, and WinLink and that. So anyway, enjoyed it very much. 73, everybody, and we'll catch you tomorrow on WinLink.
I wish I had a list of check-ins. We had good amount of check-ins tonight, and I was really happy with everything, the way it went all the way around. I tell you what, in lieu of calling everybody as a roll call, if you would just announce your call sign, and if you have anything to say it. 73 to the net, and you can back out, and we'll conclude and secure.
K5WWN.
Go ahead, Tom.
Well, I'm anxious to get my analog TV out and see what we can do with that at some later date. And tomorrow, I want to remind everybody to bring a chair for the Tool Fire Station. And 73 to everybody. Back to net.
Roger that. Next.
KI5MEM, thank you, RC, for your good work, and it looks like there was a fair amount of effort there, and I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night. I'm off to Monday Night Football. KG5TBI, I'll be signing off, and 73 to everybody. Maybe the next time we do this, I can be on to begin with.
Roger that, John. Better late than never. Anyone else?
KI5MIR, just wanted to say that shows the diversity of ham radio. Thank you, RC, you did a good job. Good night, all, 73.
KG5TBY, this is Hatch. It's been a while since I've chimed in, but this was neat seeing this presentation. It's like bringing back some old technology and repurposing it, putting it into a different format here, and it's pretty neat. So appreciate that, and hope to keep catching up with y'all later. 73, on them out. KG5TBY.
Roger that, Hatch. Good to have you.
KG5TBI, the tower arrived about 5:30.
All right. John Wilson's the owner of a brand new tower, and his son, I understand, purchased it for him. And I asked him if his son felt like being adopted. So anyway, we worked that out last night. Next in line.
KG5NHB.
Yeah, go ahead, Don.
Well, RC, this was kind of unique, to say the least. I still don't understand a whole lot of it, but just making the presentation out there to know what is available gives you the incentive to maybe learn more than what you already know, and you know the different possibilities of using this ham radio for other things other than just talking across the street or whatever. So I appreciate all the work you put into it, RC. You did a great job. And 73, and remind everybody, we got lunch at Maybank Cafe tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And then I guess there's another one on Thursday at 11 o'clock. So pick your poison. At 73 to everybody, good night, and we'll see y'all down the road.
73, Don. All right. Anyone else?
K9YNX.
Hey, go Ed.
Hey, you still transmitting? I've finally found some channels. I had to do a lot of work, but it says it's finding channels, but it's still scanning. So maybe another 5 minutes or so it'll be done here.
No, I'm not right now. Give me about 5 minutes after we close the net, and I'll be lit up. I'm using the antenna that I'm going to use for the net right now. So I got to do some wire swapping. But that said, I'll be on in a minute or two.
Okay, well, on KA9YNX.
Okay, any other takers? Hearing none, on behalf of TechNet, I'd like to thank the Cedar Creek Amateur Radio Club and the Athens Amateur Radio Club for the use of their repeaters. This concludes this edition of TechNet. I hope to see everybody the first Monday of the next month and every first Monday night at 7 o'clock, weather permitting, of course, for another round of TechNet. This is N50RO, and we're returning the frequency back to normal amateur radio use. 73, y'all, and y'all have a good night. N50RO. You can catch me on TV here in a minute, maybe.
N5L, N5SCR.
Hello, Charles KM5L.
Want me to close the link?
Yes, sir, please. Thank you.
N5SCR, closing the link.